Robert Greenway, former Deputy Assistant President Trump. And sir, thanks for coming back and good morning to you. We learned from overnight the B-1 bomber is in the theater for the first time during this conflict. Also, there's a lot of reporting about the surge of airplanes and personnel into the Middle East. What do you make of this beyond the options for the Commander-in-Chief?
It's good to be with you. Good morning, Bill. I think two things. The Iranians have proven once again they can't be trusted to pursue a diplomatic approach. They can't abide by any agreement. And so having closed that, the president is compelled to resume military operations and escalate, not only to restrict the capacity to disrupt shipping in the Straits of Hormuz, but also the ballistic missile capacity that struck our troops in Muwafaq al-Sati in Jordan over the weekend. And in the end, I think what we can be encouraged by is that Iran has very little capacity and capability left. And if they escalate, the United States has rungs in the ladder which are completely beyond the reach of Iran and their surrogates in Yemen, Ansar Allah or the Houthis, which you'll recall were striking up to a dozen vessels a day at one time until the United States launched a sustained campaign to reduce their capability, which could be in the offing as well.
All right. I want to bring in what Iran's foreign minister had to say about this. They will clearly respond. He says our doctrine is clear, eye for an eye. Any aggression against Iran, including our infrastructure, will compel a powerful and decisive response. Those who contribute to such aggression, whatever the kind of support, will also be considered as legitimate targets. They say a powerful and decisive response. What do they have left? We continue to see these ballistic missiles go out. We know that they reached farther than we had estimated before this current conflict had erupted. You talk about the fact that we can have overwhelming force against them. Are we, in some ways, pulling punches?
Well, it's tall talk from someone who was crawling from the rubble of a strike that killed their supreme leader. The same period of time, 40% of their military leadership was eliminated. So I don't know exactly how much capacity they have. They certainly can't defend themselves. Do they have launchers and ballistic missiles left? Yes, because unfortunately, previous diplomatic agreements allowed them to expand their program at an exponential rate. That's been reversed significantly. And so no system is 100% perfect. And so the occasional missile could and has gotten through. But the good news is they have far less capacity to do so. And the United States definitely has the capability. Certainly, if Israel were to rejoin, would accelerate it even further should Iran continue to expand the scope of the conflict. But I think the good news here is the United States has the capability to destroy the remaining capacity.
Robert, you were part of the Abraham Accords and getting that done and get it underway. And I want to bring that up now because a day and a half ago, we've learned about the U.S. making a deal with Saudi Arabia for a civil nuclear program to be built with American companies. Now we have this from the president just about an hour ago. The civil nuclear deal, there will be no enrichment of material, parenthetically, he writes, being made between the United States Department of Energy and Saudi Arabia, which pertains only to non-military use, such as the ones that Iran and UAE and others already have, will be approved, but is totally subject to Saudi Arabia joining the very respected and successful Abraham Accords. The United States is not opposed to civil non-enriched nuclear facilities. That mention of the Abraham Accords was not in the reporting 2 nights ago. What do you make of that inserted today?
Well, it's actually good to hear. The president never takes his eye off the ball. And the ball is, of course, expanding our partners and allies and increasing their capability. Without enrichment and conditional upon joining of the Accords, I think this is a good deal. We've got 30 years and additional protocols to make sure that there's no deviation. And those that supported agreements with Iran to allow them some sort of nuclear program can't now criticize the idea of giving it to a more trusted partner and ally. So I think this is good news for the region. And I think ultimately we've got to shore up our position. To do that, we need to build and expand on the Abraham Accords. And that's exactly what the president intends to do.
Robert, quickly, do you see any political trouble for a potential deal coming together? Do you think there's a need for congressional review and any trouble you would see getting it?
They'd need 2/3 to override a veto. I think as long as there's no enrichment and as long as it's conditional upon joining the Accords, I don't think it's going to be problematic.
Last point. Direct flights in the United States to Lebanon haven't happened in 40 years. The president announced it 2 days ago. Is Lebanon going to sign this deal?
They might, but the degree to which they're capable of enforcing it, I don't know. Hezbollah notoriously ran ports and airports, and so direct flights are going to be contingent upon security measures that would exclude them from a traditional source of revenue. It'll be interesting to see if the government of Lebanon can manage it. It'd be good news if they could.
All right, Robert Greenway.
Yeah.
Great to see you this morning. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Robert. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.